cafe. Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
What's going on with my voice? Hey, it's Mike Matthews. Welcome to the show called Mike's Daily Podcast that you can listen to at places.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
All over the internet. It's Mike Matthews, and did I forget the episode today is something that may upset those people that don't do many podcasts and then they quit. That's Mike Matthews, and I'm sitting on episode 2543.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
2543. And I did not do a podcast yesterday, so
Mike's
it was not Mike's Daily
Podcast.
Although it is, because I have the website. I have the website domain, mikesdailypodcast.com. And technically, I would have done a podcast, but I got interrupted. As so often happens in life, we just get interrupted. So, I was busy with things. I know you understand. I know you love these excuses I come up with. They're fantastic. The dog ate my homework. Really, that dog's got some bad intestinal problems at this point. With all the homework he has eaten. That is not the way we learn things, dog. The osmosis. Oh, that's a great word. So, we may not need reverse osmosis to get our water these days. Our reservoirs are getting really full. Like 3/4 full. We're 75% there. We're almost full. And what's funny is, as I was watching the Fox Weather Channel, they have this young blonde lady who tends to anchor a lot of the Weather Channel. And I watch a lot of Weather Channel stuff now. Not just Fox News, but the AccuWeather one and the Weather Nation one. And so this blonde Southern lady comes on and she says, oh, and I'm getting a lot of people asking, is California out of a drought? No, California will never be out of a drought.
And here's today's podcast picture.
She didn't say that exactly, but she almost said that exactly. She's like, oh, you guys in California, you've had so many years of drought that you're it's going to take you a lot more than this. Oh, but she hasn't been putting sandbags everywhere, trying to divert the water that just keeps coming. We've got so much water. So it is in fact now a fact that our reservoirs are almost full. And we are pretty much almost there. Yes, almost out of a drought. How long will that last? The late great Basil the Boxer will tell you. Probably after this rain, who knows? Climate change. I don't know if climate change means that we're going to be a rainforest over here, or if we're going to be back to the business as usual, where we're dry as a bone. The cool thing is, when it rains here and you do get wet, you tend to dry off a lot faster than, let's say, in Florida, where you would get rained on and then you're wet all day and it never dries off. And people, when I lived in Alabama near Huntsville, and the bad tornadoes and everything there. Although mainly further south from Huntsville, but still more in the middle of the state of Alabama, but not good. And tornadoes lift all that debris up in the air, and then that debris's got to come somewhere. It's got to fall back down to the earth, and it's falling and causing damage that way as well. But that's a whole other crazy thing. But yes, once you got wet and you were like sweating like crazy or whatever in Huntsville, in Alabama, in Florida, in the South, the water just stays on you. But your skin's nice. Your skin's really beautiful and so smooth. And how do you do that? Oh, it's because of all the humidity. But a guy also from California named Kevin McCarthy, who is now the House Speaker. Oh, and the podcast picture, by the way, is a picture from a year ago, and the beautiful moon that was out, a nice picture taken in Pleasanton a year ago. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, this is according to the Washington Times. He was saying on Thursday he is willing to make public unreleased security footage from January 6th of last year. Capitol riot or January 6th of 2021. 2 years ago, Capitol riot, when pro-Trump protesters breached the complex to protest the presidential election. I want to be very thoughtful about it, yes, Mr. McCarthy said at his weekly presser. I think the public should see what happened on that day. I watched what then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi did, where she politicized it for the first time in the history as a speaker, not allowing the minority to appoint to a committee. We watched a politicization of this. I think the American public should actually see what happened instead of a report that's written on a political bias. And then Representative Paul Gosar of Arizona, who's a Republican, told the Washington Times that the release of the security footage is necessary for the January 6th detainees' legal defense. Okay, well, we'll see what happens with that. I am willing to listen and to see what it was. But I will come to my own conclusions. There we go. I completed that sentence. Yes, show me your footage. Let me make my conclusions. Let me figure it out. I'm not going to keep my head in the sand over this. Give me the facts. Give me the data, as it were. Don't give me the lies. So Moderna is developing an mRNA shot that is injected directly into the hearts of heart attack and heart failure patients. The vaccine uses the same technology as the company's flagship COVID shot and is designed for people weeks or months after a heart attack to help them recover. It works by instructing human heart cells to generate a hormone that is known to improve blood flow, helping restore damaged heart muscles. This according to the Daily Mail. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
Anyway.
The last place on earth, Cafe Anyway. Moderna CEO Stephanie Bancel said to Sky News in Australia back in October, we have now in the clinic a super exciting program where we inject mRNA into people's hearts after a heart attack to grow back new blood vessels to help revascularize the heart. It's a bit like science fiction medicine, but that's what is really exciting to me. Now, today, I was producing a radio program that has to do with innovations in medicine, and the host had on a guest, a young guy, who had come up with a special type of pill that you swallow, and it's got a camera in it, and it allows doctors to see what's going on inside your intestines, your stomach, and all of that. Fascinating. So that is a thing. There is a lot of science fiction going on in the world of medicine. And it scares some people. It makes people go crazy. I know a very sensible guy, a little bit older than me, lives in Podcastro Valley. He has gone off the deep end. He thinks it's all... He just would rather live in fear and not get the facts and jump to his own conclusions and not come up with a rational view of things. He just wants to hide in his world of social media, of listening to and going on Alex Jones' website and just listening to all the conspiracy theories. And he's just really afraid. I mean, he reads a lot of science fiction. He needs a lot of... Well, the thing is, when he talks and he does like a radio show. He does a podcast, and he's got a lot of followers. And you know what? That's going to pump up your ego when you get a lot of people following you, even though you're saying stupid stuff. So he keeps on going. He feels that that's his justification. Look, I've got all these people that believe what I'm saying. I'm going to keep on going. No! Facts! We need facts. And we got to read them. We got to see them. Osmosis won't do it. And finally, gas stoves. I do not own a gas stove. I have a gas furnace and a gas water heater. But the gas stove furor is emblematic of Republicans' broader efforts to thrust President Biden's environmental agenda into the nation's ongoing culture wars. This according to the Washington Post. With the GOP taking control of the House, these efforts could increase pressure on federal agencies as they race to finalize climate regulations over the next 2 years, experts say. Axios says, despite official insistence that fears of a ban are unfounded, conservatives are suddenly championing gas stoves in a new culture war. The Daily Wire says legacy media wants you to believe that the right is in hysterics over some rumor that the Biden administration wants to ban gas stoves. In fact, some are even alleging that conservatives started another fight in the culture war needlessly. Yet the idea that the federal government wants to ban gas stoves didn't come out of left field, and it didn't start this week. In December, Richard Trumka Jr., the Senate-confirmed commissioner of the United States Consumer Protection and Safety Commission, expressed his desire to eliminate the products from the market, while telling like-minded individuals that the federal government could regulate the products so quickly with enough public pressure. That was in the Daily Wire. Well, gas stoves. Now, I've known a lot of cooks that say they can only cook with gas stoves because they got to see the flame. Me, electric is fine. Once you gotta get the feel of your stove, because I got an older electric stove, and I know at a certain amount, like I know what kind of heat I'm gonna get when I turn the knob and I get the certain thing. You just got to do it. It's like anything, any new product you get. If you've never worked with an electric stove and you're trying to, now here's the thing. If you're, especially here in California, where we get all the rainstorms now these days, and our power goes out constantly, we've had a crazy amount of people not have power. Well, now they're not going to cook on their stove. I have, in my possession now, we got this recently. We got a Coleman stove because of that very fact that we're going to lose power at some point with all this rain, and we're going to want to heat some stuff up. By the way, if you do have a Coleman stove or any kind of gas propane stove, take it outside. Don't cook stuff inside. You're going to cause all kinds of problems. You may set your house on fire. You may kill yourself. Be careful. So, I guess what I am saying is it seems kind of ridiculous, the whole gas stove debate. It should be, I guess it should be up to whoever wants to get whatever. Democrats, the amount, it's all the amount of energy the Republicans and the Democrats put into. So Republicans, let's start with the Democrats. Democrats are going to spend a bunch of time on this when they should be spending a lot more time, all of that time, on getting guns regulated, on getting these states that don't care if you buy 50 guns and a bazooka and everything else to, take out as many people as you want. There are states that say, no, you have the right to have that because of the forefathers. They said it was okay. That's crazy. Democrats, that's been the cause to get that all sorted out. Republicans, they should be spending time with the stuff that has made them popular and made them, over the years, the party that people go, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I shouldn't give all of my money to Gavin Newsom. I shouldn't give all of my money to these stupid fees and taxes that are added that some Democrat in Sacramento thought was a good idea when I'm paying for gas at the pump. Instead, though, the Republicans have put all their energy and effort into placating an old celebrity from the game show, reality TV show world who has a poor, fractured ego because he lost an election. There can only be one winner when it comes to an election, and he lost. So, I mean, I voted for people that have lost. Get over it. Hillary lost she got the popular vote, lost the main vote. She lost. She went off, and I don't know. I'm not going to rationalize or justify what she did afterwards, but it's just ridiculous. So, I mean, people, they want to feel better and just go, okay, there was some weird cabal, this bizarre tech industry, Silicon Valley group that decided to hack into all the voting machines and get Trump out. That's what happened. Or I don't know. There's a million other theories going on about that. Anyway, I just think these political movements go in the wrong direction. They get distracted. And I think this gas stove thing is definitely in that ballpark. Okay, we're outside a cafe anyway where there are no gas stoves. And look who's here. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. What was there? Thunder. The thunder. And Imagine Dragons. And maybe some lightning. Oh, you need the lightning to have the thunder. But that's what that was. Okay, Mike Matthews. That's really interesting, Mike Matthews. Did you ever read Rumpelstiltskin? Oh, yeah. Wasn't there something in that? That was like a fairy tale. A Hans Christian Andersen story. Or no? I forget who wrote that. But yeah, there were like these guys up in the sky that were they were doing bowling. They were bowling in the sky, and that was causing the thunder. We've got that book in the gift shop, Mike Matthews. Okay, I got to read it and get caught up on all of my children's nursery rhyme stuff from when I was young. Oh, so many years ago. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer, Mike. Yes, the climate is changing, and we're going to have a lot of water here in California and Podcastro Valley all the time from now on. It's going to become like Venice. Uh-oh. I better invest in a boat. Fascinating, isn't it? Well, thank you for letting me do this podcast today and bring you this information. And if you'd like to chime in about anything I covered, perhaps I missed something. Perhaps I missed the mark. You can call me 336MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast tries to be but gets interrupted.
Call now. 336MM Daily.
Next show, it'll be Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!